about now, you're watching Tell It Like It Is, Sports Talk Podcast, with your host, Saint Superfan, Soul Saint, along with co-host Mike Teasy, and last but not least, Hakeem the Dream. We talking Saints, we talking Pelicans, we talking Tigers, and much, much more. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember, nothing personal, it's just straight biz. We coming at you on Tell It Like It Is. Let's go.
I'm not playing. I go by soul. Or call me a saint. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? Woo! We got a good show for y'all tonight. Welcome to Tell It Like It Is, Sports Talk Podcast, where we don't sugarcoat shiznit, just real talk from real people. I'm your host, Soul Saint, and as usual, Saints plus Soul equals Super Bowl. I got my partners in crime tonight. My boy Mike Teasy, he's still not back with us yet. He's somewhere vacationing in the Poconos somewhere, but he will be back one day. Now, let me introduce my partners in crime. First of all, my boy, you know him, Hakeem the Dream.
What's happening, everybody? Shout out to all the charity babies. You know what I'm saying? We set the tone, not Oxner, not AP2 road. All us charity babies. Damn it, that's what's up. That's what's happening. That's right. What's going on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
And filling in for my boy Mike Teasy, we got my boy Nader Murphy.
Yeah! 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 Interception! Pick six! Yeah! That's right! Yeah, that's right! Bruno Mars is on tour! And Teasy is back in the building, baby! Yeah, that's right! Pick six! Took it to the house! See you, Bruno Mars! What's up, Bruno? Teasy back in the building! What's happening, people? I'm back, like I never left.
Yeah. Hey, he at your house?
Damn. Like, damn.
Interception, baby.
Nader didn't read the coverage. He didn't know it was a shell coverage.
So
and
beautiful girls
is back
all over the world. I could be changed.
He took a little hiatus from the show for a little while. It's the new year. He's back. He's back. Tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's a welcome right there,
Nickel State representing. Thibodeau, Louisiana. Nickel State representing. You see it? Yeah. It's all Louisiana. You see it?
Bottom. Bottom.
Hey, tonight we have a great show. We have a Saints Hall of Famer.
Legend.
Respectively, the first or second best kick returner in Saints history. You can switch them around however you want to say it, however you want to put it. Between him and you know who, the Beer Man. But tonight we got number 33, Saints Hall of Famer Tyrone Hughes.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Mr. Hughes? How are you, sir?
That man.
I'm doing pretty good.
That man right there, man.
What's happening,
to be continued. To be continued.
I just want to give a shout out to I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Tyrone. Tyrone always support me with everything I do, man. He come to my tailgates, bro. He's on my cruise. So that's my guy, man. I appreciate you, Tyrone, for coming on again with us.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. So we're going to jump right into it, man. T, the Saints had a crazy season this year, subpar season. Coaching disabilities, quarterback problems, and all that, man. We just want to get your take on this season, bro, and what to look for in the future. Where you think the Saints should go?
I mean, as it pertains to the season, we all saw how that went. So not as expected compared to what was on paper at the beginning of the year, or what we expected it to be at the beginning of the year. And I think, first of all, if you're starting on the offensive side, Jameis was coming along from last year, and what we saw happen in the offseason with the pickups they made offensively and defensively, I thought I at least gave them a 10-game win season. You know, last year I picked them for 7, they won 9. This year I picked them for 10. But looking at what they had on paper and the moves they made in the offseason, I really expected them to do a lot. I really expected them to do that 10 games or more. Definitely, I even expected them to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because of what they had on paper. Now, what performed was toilet paper.
You sure it wasn't what the toilet paper used for?
What performed was toilet paper. So when you look at the injury to Jameis, and at the beginning of the year, everybody was talking, even before the season started, after the first preseason game, which Andy Dalton had played 5 plays, was 5 for 5, scored a touchdown, and everybody wanted Andy Dalton to come. Oh, he ought to be the starter. Well, then you saw Jameis go down. What happened? I think one of the problems was, and this was the reason why I wanted Dennis Allen to get the job and keep Pete Carmichael, because I thought, looking at the progress Jameis had made under Sean, which everybody was like, oh, Sean's handicapping him. He's holding him back. He's not opening up the offense. Well, there was a reason for that, because Jameis wasn't ready to be that type of quarterback. I think he was coming along, and once you put the weapons around him with Michael Thomas, Landry, and Olave, that gave him a lot more confidence. Plus, you had Kamara in the backfield. You had Ingram in the backfield. The only question I had offensively was with the Saints at the beginning of the year, or before the season started, was how was the offensive line going to hold up? And thinking Pete Carmichael was going to call Sean Payton's plays, being the West Coast offense of quick game, short passes, get it out of Jameis's hands, let him, let the receivers or the playmakers do their job. Well, I think Pete kind of caved in to try and set his own identity of, well, I'm going to throw the ball down the field. I want to push it more, what have you. And that didn't work out too well. I mean, when you go back and look at the first game, it didn't work out until Jameis got into that 2-minute offense where he was calling his own plays. And you look at how he did that in that Atlanta game, and it worked out well. He gets hurt, and now you bring in Andy Dalton, but not only does he get hurt, your offensive line get hurt, your receivers get hurt, but yet as an offensive coordinator, you still want to throw the ball down the field. And that's what caused turnovers. That's what caused sacks, because you didn't have an offensive line to protect. You didn't really have receivers to really throw it to, but then you really didn't have the right situation of throwing the ball down the field. And again, that's how you ended up getting the picks. Now, one of the things we also have to look at is have an understanding that the reason why the Saints have done so well over the past 5 years is not just because of Drew Brees, but because of their defense. And when you look at their defense and the supposed upgrades that they made, again, you had a Super Bowl caliber defense on paper. When the season started, what you had was a lot of guys making business decisions instead of playing ball. And so I think when you look at the last 4 or 5 games, they didn't come around or start playing like the defense we expected them to be, even with the injuries they had, because the younger guys stepped up. Looking at the way that the last 4 or 5 games is the way the defense played the last 4 or 5 games is how we expected them to play all year. I did not think it would take them this long, or as long as it did, to basically gel together and start playing like we wanted them to play. When you look at the coaches, with Dennis Allen, I always say, I didn't like the Kelly hire at LSU. And then after the first game at Florida State, everybody wanted him fired. But one of the things that I saw at Florida State in that Florida State game is that team fought back at the end of the game. And so that told me a lot. But I always believe every new coach deserves at least 3 years, because it's going to take you a year to find out what you don't want as a coach and then to get what you need in. I think for Dennis Allen, you know, everybody always talking about Sean would have jumped on guys and do it. That's not his personality. You know, as a coach, you can't fake it because the players are going to know, especially those guys on the defensive side, because they know what type of person he was. I think he left the offense up to Pete Carmichael, and Pete didn't do his job. I think after seeing what we saw this year, they made a move on the offensive line, but I think really and truly they should have made a move with Pete Carmichael if he's not going to do, because that's the only way I think Jameis and Dalton we're going to be able to succeed with the way things were going.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah,
you know, my boy AK had a subpar season. You know what I'm saying? I think he had maybe 1, 2, 3 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So do you think it was because of the coaching, because of the play calling that he had this? Whose fault is it that AK had a subpar season?
I think it comes down to coaching, but then I also think it comes down to teams understanding what the Saints' strength was. I mean, again, going back to last year, we said the offense had to go through Alvin Kamara, or I should say 2 years ago, the offense had to go through Alvin Kamara in order for the Saints to win. But he's not built for that. And when you saw him get hurt last year, he missed, I think, 6 games. The Saints lost all 6 of those games. But the games he came back and played, they won. So that kind of proved that notion. This year, I thought by having those receivers, Jameis being a little bit further, another year of experience in that offense, that would take some pressure off of Alvin, and we would be more successful and look like we did in the past as far as putting up points. But again, Pete wasn't calling Sean Payton's plays. He was calling his plays and trying to move the ball, throw the ball down the field, which wasn't conducive to what we had, and definitely didn't give Jameis a chance, and it didn't give Andy Dalton a chance. Then again, your offensive line gets hurt and have all of these injuries, and that just sets you back even more. Then you have Alvin, who's turning the ball over. Again, not his fault. Things just happen, you know. And so I think it was a culmination of this as how the season went with their lack of performance. But then also, again, I go back to the defensive side of the ball. When you look at even when Drew Brees had went down, you look at Teddy Bridgewater, you look at when Jameis stepped in. It was the reason why the Saints won those games wasn't because of those quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks didn't lose the game. The defense was the ones who won the game. And with the upgrades that we supposedly had, you thought that was not going to be an issue for the Saints, or at least it wasn't going to take them as long to come together and play like we thought they did. So, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the players. A lot of it has to do with the coaching. And so I think the one of the moves that Dennis needed to make or should have made was definitely going to be, unless Pete is going to come back next year and say, okay, I'm going to commit to Sean stuff or that type of offense again, I think he should have got rid of him.
Right. So you think going forward they should keep Dennis Allen, like they say they're going to do? You know, as far as at
least this year, yeah. Because again, he's a first-year coach.
Give him one more.
At least one, because like I said, I always say a new coach ought to have 3 years. But that second year, first year, you got to figure out what's your system, who fits in that, and who doesn't. The second year, you should be able to get the people in that you need, or would like to get the people in that you need, and then at least show some progress. Then the third year is where, okay, this basically do or die. You got to have it, or you either have it or you don't.
I like that philosophy. I like that philosophy, but my thing was,
and that's why I think in college, when you look at college, when you get these coaches getting these $7, $8, $9, $10, $1 million contracts, and then after 3 or 4 years, you see them getting fired, but yet they're living off of that contract. I'm like, damn, can some black coaches not succeed in college and get a paycheck like that?
Right. But Dennis Allen cheap. I think he probably one of the lowest paid head coaches in the NFL. I think what, 3.5?
Something like that.
3.5, $4 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and that's a reason why, and that's another reason why you should keep him. You know, I think he at least can control that defense, but they need to make some changes, or I guess make some. I should say continue to go off of whatever they did these last 5 games, defensively, to get those guys to play the way they did or how we expected. Offensively, again, offensive line has to be addressed. What are you going to do with Michael Thomas? You got Landry, you got Olave. You know, what about Deontay? What are you going to do? What are you going to do what are you going to do at the quarterback position? You know, and that's why everybody was talking about, you know, hey, is Sean Payton coming back? I'm like, for what? I mean, why would he? You know, he left basically with what they still have, you know, which is nothing, you know, but I think they did a good job of upgrading at the receiver position. So I think had those guys been there before Sean left, I think he would have came back. But not having them there, not knowing what was going to go on, was one of the reasons why he left. And now you're looking at, and that was one of the things I posted the other day, saying I think one of the things Sean is going to look at in this order is organization, defense, and quarterback. And the reason he has to be in an organization that he's going to be able to have a lot of say so, like he did with the Saints. He understood how much a defense played a part in a lot of games he won. And then also having a good quarterback, young quarterback that he can groom. Because understand this.
A lot of wasted seasons. But exactly. We didn't have to lead you in.
But understand this. Sean Payton made Drew Brees, but Drew Brees executed Sean Payton's plays. And that's why he was successful. He can't do that with any quarterback. You know, and just like I think it was oh God, what's your boy name on First Take?
Stephen A.
Smith?
With the flat top.
Jalen?
I think it's Brian something. But he even said, you know, we talk about Sean Payton, but Mike McCarthy has a better record, or about the same type of record as Sean Payton.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's what he had.
So it's
now see, I was told, like I say, Sean Payton, you know, I mean, I was told he went through so much that last season, you know, so much adversity, so many things with COVID and everything, losing players, our whole team with COVID. And he just went through so much that he needed some time off. And that's what I heard. He needed some time. I talked to his brother. His brother told me, hey, he just needed some time off. He loved coaching for the Saints, but I don't care who he was coaching. He needed some time off because having
he needed
a year like
exactly. He needed that time. He needed that time off because of everything that had, like you're saying, everything that had happened. So when you got COVID, you got injuries, you got.
I think he had it 2 times at least.
You got quarterback. You got a starting quarterback who can't play that you're dependent upon. Then your backup can't play. Then your third string. Then your line is injured. Then your defense is in. But one of the things, like I said, even when Drew went down, what saved them was the defense in a lot of those games. And so I think he understood. Although I have these quarterbacks that are coming along, I don't have to open it up or take those chances because my defense is going to bail me out.
Yeah, even though,
and when he's looking at other programs, or other organizations, I think that's the order he needs to look at. How much control am I going to have? What type of defense are they going to have? And who's going to be my quarterback? And then also, I'm looking at the age. I mean, I'm thinking he's looking at guys that's going to be, as far as the team, anywhere between 3 and 6 year players.
There's a lot.
Say, Mike, you was about to say something. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Nah, I'm okay. Go ahead. Let him continue to cook. Let him go ahead.
No, I'm not. Yeah, no, that's it.
Finished on that. I mean, if you had to elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, like Mike McCarthy, like when Mike McCarthy and with the Sean Payton thing, I was like, I would like to see what Mike McCarthy's record is without Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre when he was in Green Bay. I'd like to see what that record is compared to when Drew Brees went down. What Sean Payton did with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill, And then also that year what he did with Jameis Winston is Mike McCarthy. That's the difference right there.
I don't think no other coach would have won 9 games with what we had.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But again, it goes back to it wasn't the quarterback, and that's what I'm saying. Sean understood that. Sean just made those quarterbacks don't lose the game. Did a lot of that went through a lot of that offense went through Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
because Sean knew I had a defense that's going to bail me out. It wasn't the offense that won the game.
And he schemed for his playmakers. He schemed his playmakers. He used his playmakers.
But your playmaker, and that's why he ended up getting hurt, because Alvin is not built for that. He is not an every down back all game long.
He got to have a. I mean, it's how they use him. He got to have a complimentary back with him. I mean, hell, you look around the league. Everybody got to have a complimentary back. Them boys hit hard, man. Them guys hitting hard, man. Everybody got to have a compliment. Even Derrick Henry got somebody that come in for him now, as big as he is. You know, everybody got to have a complimentary back. They realize in the NFL, 250 to 300 carries a year ain't healthy. Especially once you get 29, 30 years old, you realize, look how Zeke Elliott looking right now. He ain't even 30 yet. Look how he looking right now.
Terrible.
Oh, it definitely wears on you, and that's why they got Pollard. That's why they got Pollard coming in behind.
That's why he looking, because he's so fresh.
Right.
You know, he hardly ever got them carries.
It will break you down. It will break you down.
Look at
everybody got to have one.
Look at Kenny Walker. Look how Seattle ended up going to the playoffs with Geno Smith. Geno Smith was basically a doggone throwaway. Let's just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Geno was a throwaway. You gave Geno a running game. He already has, you know, one of the more underrated wide receiver tandems. Tyler Lockett, I want to say he had 1,000 yards this year. If he did, it was like his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season. But a lot of people don't talk about Tyler Lockett.
Solid receiver. Solid receiver.
Exactly.
Solid.
And you got DK Metcalf, basically Optimus Prime, playing wide receiver on the other side. Then you have, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Seattle's defense was terrible, but just like you said, Mr. Hughes, you know, if you can protect your quarterback, you give him enough weaponry on the outside. Like, there's a lot of things you can hide with a quarterback that's not quote unquote elite. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you know,
Geno has thrown the ball. Geno has thrown the ball well this year.
He did. Especially you seen that game when he played against us, man. The throws he was making.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Seahawks made the playoff. We didn't.
He was making some elite throws against.
Maybe that's what Geno needed. Geno needed some good weapons.
Yeah, it definitely his confidence skyrocketed.
You know, he just needed some good weapons to play with.
He did. He had a heck of a year.
It wasn't just the weapons. It was him having an opportunity with those weapons.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Because he showed it. I agree with that.
If Russell Wilson's still there, Geno ain't playing.
That's true. Yeah, because he showed it. Geno Smith showed didn't have that in New York Jets. He showed did not have that. I can tell you that. He didn't have that.
Just think about it. Just think about how many quarterbacks come out of college that are good in college and come out to be bust because they playing with bad teams. You know what I'm saying? They playing with a bad team.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say one of the reasons to that is also they're not coached in college. Right now, all of these quarterbacks, especially the black quarterbacks, is on this read option is basically 1, maybe 2 reads and then run.
That's right.
They're not taught to be pocket passers.
Right.
And so that's why I said, when we talk about if you coming from Sunshine and who was the last one? Your boy at Chicago.
Justin Fields.
They wasn't used to losing.
No, that's right.
That wasn't used to losing. They wasn't used to being pocket passers.
Right.
I'm gonna go 1-2 and then go. But I had so much talent around me, better than everybody else.
That's right.
It's like basically a Patrick Mahomes situation when they had Tyreek. Everybody talk about Patrick Mahomes and what he was doing, but you got to look at the weapons he had around him. 2 running backs, a tight end, and 3 receivers. That was Patrick Mahomes' offense. You take Lamar, you take Deshaun Watson from the Texans and put him in that offense when they had Tyreek Hill at the Kansas City Chiefs, and you take Patrick Mahomes and you put him in the Houston Texans offense, Patrick Mahomes ain't gonna be Patrick Mahomes. Watson gonna look like Patrick Mahomes. And look at what Patrick Mahomes does and how he got to bail people out.
Look what Patrick Mahomes got now, and he still produce.
He still got everybody. He only lost one person.
Yeah, but that guy, he lost.
He only lost one person. Okay, Kareem Hunt ain't there no more. Tyreek Hill ain't there no more.
Who you say about that? He's the guy that he lost is a 1,500-yard receiver in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, not saying he wasn't a good player, but look at the people that they still have around him. It ain't Patrick Mahomes that's doing that.
Dollar store. Trash. Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Mahomes that's doing that. What? It's those people that he have around him that's doing that for him. Who got to catch? They got to catch the ball.
What J.J. Smith-Schuster been doing for the past 3 years? What he been doing?
Look at the Super Bowl when they didn't have their 2 starting tackles. What happened to him?
Dude, not only the two starting tackles, he didn't have an offensive line. Period.
What happened to them in the Super Bowl?
No. I tell you what. You're not telling the whole thing. You're not telling the whole thing.
You had Tyreek Hill. You had all of your weapons, and you did not have your 2 starting offensive tackles.
4 out of 5. The only starting guy he had was a center. Everybody else was gone. Left guard, left tackle, right tackle. All of them was gone.
Okay, so you still need first of all, you need the protection, but you need those other people around. Tyreek leaving didn't hurt. I'm not
debating that.
Yep.
That man had no offensive line, bro. Nothing.
In this league, you cannot. The best quarterback, whoever you would consider the best quarterback in the league, if he does not have both of his starting tackles, there's going to be a drop off, though. I mean, that's just.
That man, they showed us that man ran for over 500 yards, running for his life, trying to throw the ball.
When you look at, there most of the time on most teams, it's very seldom other teams have quality backups. But when you look at most teams in the NFL, there's a big drop off between the starters and the backups.
Oh, absolutely.
So just imagine from the backups to the ones that's on the street.
You just validated my argument when you just say he lost his left tackle and his right tackle. You just validated my argument. There's a huge drop-off, obviously. You're running for his life every time he backed up to throw the ball.
And I use you as an example, Mr. Hughes. You played in the NFC West against one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. 2 of the greatest, Steve Young and Joe Montana. So, if do you think they made Jerry and John Taylor, you know what I'm saying, and Brent Jones, those guys that you played against? Or do you think it was more of them? It
was more of them because when you look at
the quarterbacks,
the wide receivers made the quarterback. So what I'm saying is but when Tyreek left, they didn't have a drop off because of all the other talent they have around them. Most teams don't have a tight end, a number 1 tight end, a top tight end. Well, let me go back. A top 3 tight end, a top 5, 6, 7, top 10, 2 top 10 receivers. But they actually had 3.
Okay.
And you got 2 top running backs. So as a defense, who you gonna stop? Most teams you can, even though in Baltimore, with Cincinnati, they try to stop Jamar Chase. They'll try to double Jamar Chase, but he still got other weapons to go to.
Yep. T. Higgins
when you got multiple players on your team, it's hard for a defense to focus on just one. So that quarterback is going to shine. I'm telling you, who did they have on the Texans that Patrick Mahomes can go to?
Brandon Cooks.
As far as a number 1 receiver or just
Brandon Cooks decent?
I'm saying that where he's going to have the numbers that he had and look like he had in Kansas City.
Like Mike
Brandon
said,
Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. He had Will.
I mean, I really think this dude is great. He is considered elite and considered great because he can elevate talent. You seen what he did with Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdez-Scantling as his 1 and 2 wide receivers. They have respectable years this year.
No.
He's great enough that he can elevate talent. He can elevate talent. A lot of quarterbacks ain't that great. You're not considered elite to me. You can elevate talent.
Look, let's move on to this.
You can't elevate the talent if you ain't got the talent.
Well,
they still got you talking about 1 or 2 guys. I'm saying they got a whole team in Kansas City. Deshaun Watson ain't have no whole team.
Well, McCole Hardman was out for the entire year. He played like 1 game. McCole Hardman was considered a guy that's pretty good.
And that was a big loss too.
And keep in mind, in the backfield, Clyde Edwards-Helaire lost his spot, bro, to that rookie, Pacheco. He lost his spot.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
That rookie. Yeah. And they still, because they figured they didn't have that guy that can not only carry that load, but especially in red zone. You know, so you notice they throw the ball a lot in the red zone because there ain't no guy that can punch it in. Mm-hmm. So the offense was changed dynamically. The only legit weapon, the only basically unicorn weapon they got is Travis Kelce.
Unguardable.
They had over 1,300 yards receiving this year.
Unguardable.
A tight end.
Unguardable.
Oh, the boy a monster. He a monster.
Unguardable.
He a monster.
Tight end of all time.
And keep in mind, this man still throw for over 5,000 yards with that.
And I mean,
without a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. My homeboy.
And like I said, he would not have done that in Houston.
I don't know about that, bro. Some people, like you said,
he would not have done that in Houston.
Like, okay, okay.
When you look at that offensive line and you look at that tight end,
he wouldn't have threw for 5,000 yards. But I can promise you this:
y'all talking about two guys when I'm talking about 6.
That boy is special.
That's his weapons in Kansas City.
That boy is special.
That boy is
special. He can elevate. Talent. That boy is special.
I'm not taking it away from him. I'm not taking his talents away from him. But what I'm saying is he is so good because of what he has out there.
Elite. We talking about a transcendent elite talent. He can fit in any offense.
Come around.
He can throw from the pocket. He can throw from any angle. He can throw from any side. He can fit any style of offense.
But you still got to have people. You still got to have people to.
I wouldn't give a damn if they ran the run and shoot.
Man,
you got to have the people to get open. You got to have people to catch it.
He's just that good.
He's
that good. He can elevate talent.
Well, look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff is another.
He's that good. He's that good.
Jared Goff is that good. Example. He went to the Super Bowl.
He the man.
He goes to Detroit. Detroit is one.
He had a good year.
Hold on, my phone went out.
He had a good year.
Detroit is one game from getting to the playoffs. Sometimes, look. I mean, I understand that argument. You know what I'm saying? Like, with the talent, but sometimes the QB making too.
You got it. Fixed team.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
I'm talking about this man can do much with little. The scary thing is, what if you do give him a legitimate number 1 wide receiver with all that and stuff? It's murder. It's murder.
What's up, Blow? You coming in late, huh?
It's murder.
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, that's why I said I think had he had the offensive line against Cincinnati last year, they would have won the game.
Yeah.
If this man would have, it's scary.
He must be in a bad area. Because he cracking up right now.
But back to the Saints. Back to the Saints. They just, I think they just, if Pete Carmichael don't come back next year and make those offensive changes, let me say that. Then I'm sorry. If he doesn't make those changes, then I think at some point during the season you got to get rid of him.
Let me ask you this, Tyrone. Is it a chance, bro? You've been hearing rumors about this. At one time, we heard Sean Payton coming over here with Tom Brady, and Sean Payton has already got his defensive coordinator. You think it's a chance that Sean Payton could come back to the Saints? And where would you think would be a good spot for him to go?
No, I don't think he's coming back to the Saints. And again, we shouldn't for what we need. We don't want him to. We shouldn't want him to come back.
Right, because we need
because
what we're gonna get for him. Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I think everybody.
In the long run, if we get a coach, then that coach, be of some value to us over time. But we know Sean is a good coach. So we hoping that that what we get for Sean will help us. And plus we get a good coach to lead us to another Super Bowl.
That's salary
down the line. But you got again, salary cap is an issue. You got a lot of older guys that's coming to their end that we gonna have to make changes. I mean, realistically, if Sean goes somewhere else and we get a first round pick, first thing we got to do is try to move up with that first round pick if we can, some kind of way, might possibly make some trades. If we gotta redo the blow it up and redo it, I mean, we may have to do that because I don't see
we got
anything in the near future that can help us. If we got to get a young quarterback that can be a franchise quarterback.
Exactly. We got another ex-Saint on there, John 4K. He said Sean won't come back, and
we agree with
going to Carolina or Houston. So I
think. I don't know what happened. What's going on? What's going on with San Diego? Oh, I'm sorry, lost the Chargers.
I say Arizona. Arizona got the number.
They're gonna keep Brandon Staley. They wanna keep him. They're just gonna change all the other parts around.
So then the next option is gonna be I would say Houston or Arizona because he does like Kyler Murray.
Right.
He likes Kyler Murray, and I think with the players' options and all of those guys,
he trusts that coming off a torn ACL. Kyler Murray torn his ACL late in the season last year. You trust that?
Well, that's going to be dependent upon how he comes back from that.
Right.
But he does like Kyler Murray, and so you got a decent defense, pretty good defense, and then you got receiver weapons over there. So I think that would fit what Sean wants to do offensively. Organizational wise, I don't know, but I don't know if he wants to be in the AFC for his style of offense because Sean is more finesse, where the AFC is more, we gonna ground and pound.
You see what 4K is saying? He said Murray is not his style of quarterback. T.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. But I mean,
Murray has a strong arm. He can run and he can get the ball out of his hands for Sean's offense to get it into his playmaker's hands. He can get it out of his hands and go through the reads, or Sean can develop him, I think, into what he needs him to be for that offense.
So you think he's scared, Sean? He don't want to go there because he's scared of those teams? Come on, John.
I mean,
what happened?
Look, that's
he don't want to play. He don't want to go up against KC.
It's a difficult division. It's a war zone.
Off with that though, so because
but you don't have nothing in Denver anyway.
Right. That's a gauntlet. Like Vegas has the talent to be a doggone playoff team. They just don't have the coach. But San Diego. I mean, the Chargers got their quarterback for the next decade. Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be the face of the NFL once this guy down here in Tampa. Well, Patrick Mahomes, not Tampa. We don't need to say his name.
That dude,
once he gets out of there, so that's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the NFC South where we ain't got no quarterbacks to go ahead and talk about. It'll be tough. He wants the easiest path to go ahead and get to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, but he also wants experience. He don't want to have to deal with rookies or an old team.
Absolutely, I can agree with that too as well. Like somebody that he doesn't have to develop. That's why
and that's why I say I think he's looking for somebody that has a team that's anywhere between 3 to 6 year players. You can develop them. You got some veteran leadership or veteran guys, experienced guys. But that I don't have to rebuild with them. They're already there. They just need me to help them get over that hump. I think that's what he should be looking for.
My dream scenario, if I had to go ahead, and get us a guy, and I said this at the beginning of this season, everybody thought I was crazy, but I think Justin Fields will be great down here. Literally, Justin Fields he'll be a third-year player. He has a young guy in Chris Olave who has over 1,000 yards receiving. Shaheed showed you something. Jawan Johnson showed you something. Like Justin Fields, the cover wouldn't be bare down here. Our offensive line is a lot better than Chicago's. He has an Alvin Kamara. I think, to me, that would be my dream scenario guy down here. He's big, fast, strong.
Is he a pocket passer? I mean, He's
a dual threat guy. Yeah, so he's a dual threat guy. Like, he's not a quote unquote pocket passer. He's that one read guy. If he ain't there, he's taking off. He's basically, to me, he's a more accurate version of number 7, who we have right here, that everybody feels is an every down quarterback, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? And he's a 20-year-old number 7.
I'm thinking that Tyrone phone went dead. He's
probably
put it on the charger. Yeah, I think his phone went dead.
But
I do agree with Mr. 4K on that. Carmichael was hurt. I do agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And
I think Carmichael's style of offense and how he's basically formatted, it is strictly West Coast.
The ball to win in the NFL. That's true.
Yep.
I think his style is. I think Carmichael's style is not complex to Sean Payton's scheme. Sean Payton, what made him so brilliant, he can adjust. He can adjust through the game, and plus that he believed in giving the playmakers the opportunity to give them the ball, to create a scheme to give them the ball, get the playmakers the ball. I don't see that well with Pete Carmichael, because like I said,
you had a quarterback who came in. You had a quarterback who came in that was accurate as hell and know how to throw guys open, but know where to go with the ball before the ball was snapped. And that's why I was saying
he did that without number 9 too. Michael Thomas still leading the league when Teddy Bridgewater was in the lineup for them 5 straight weeks. He still was leading the league with that record-breaking season. He still was leading the league. Because Sean Payton is a genius. He's a genius.
Because of the offense he ran. But what I'm saying is Drew made Sean Payton just like Sean Payton made Drew.
No, Sean Payton made Drew. Sean Payton made Drew. Drew wasn't what he was in San Diego.
Drew made Sean because of the way he ran his offense and the way Drew executed the offense. That's why they came. That's why they were able to win so many games, because of the execution that Drew and being able to audible and change things over the year. That's how he ended up lasting. Both of them ended up lasting so long. Because if you don't have but understand this, in the earlier years, if you don't have that defense, Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston wouldn't have been as successful as they are.
I believe if they would have established their defense in a lot of them 7 and 9 seasons, a lot of them seasons where we had time. We could have been really good. When Carmichael was calling plays when Sean wasn't there for a year, went 7 and 9 with Drew. That's right. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is right.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. And we had a bottom 20 defense. They bend and they broke.
Look, Tyrone, before you go, I just want to talk about one thing. And we was talking about it earlier. We're going to step away from the NFL and go to college. We want to talk. We know you're a Crimson Tide. We know you're a Crimson Tide, man. So we want to talk a little LSU and Alabama talk.
Oh my God!
You and Mike T were having a conversation earlier. I want y'all to continue that conversation.
So my point was within the realm of college football. Now I'm talking about consistency and what has happened. Somebody else is talking about what could happen in the future.
You said like over a span of a decade, right? Over a span of a decade, right?
I'm saying since 2014 when the playoffs started.
Okay, go right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
There's been no SEC team. You've had one SEC team who won a national championship, which was LSU. That was 2018. Right. Georgia has, I don't know, I think Georgia either made the playoff and lost, or they just lost.
2018, Bama won. 2019, LSU.
They got stopped. Georgia got stopped from going into the playoffs. But other than that, there's never been a SEC other than Alabama. There's been no other SEC team or program that's been in the playoffs.
Yeah,
from around what 2014?
Alabama, yeah,
since 2014.
So Georgia ain't been in the playoffs?
I said other than Alabama and Georgia. I say LSU had 2018. Okay. Georgia came up the last 2 years, but I think Georgia was in there in the playoffs. And my point was there's no other team.
Right. They lost.
I didn't dispute that, but I say the dominance about to stop. And I say the reason why the dominance about to stop because they got to share that wealth. That's right. That's my thing. And my point of emphasis of that argument was in 2020, 2021, once the NIL was introduced, where basically you are basically bidding for recruits now, they got to share that wealth. They got to share that wealth. Now, all of a sudden, Georgia has now took over or the king of the SEC right now. You have to give it to them. When that happened? Since the past 2 years. Since Kirby Smart been left there.
But Georgia has been competing to at least get into the playoffs. So my point was, other than Alabama and Georgia, you got Ohio State, and then you got everybody else that's trying to get into the playoffs. There's no other team that has actually done anything in the SEC that has been consistent and trying to get to the playoffs.
And like I said, it brings back to my point, like I just said before, 2 years from now, you got to share that wealth. All that number one recruit class, all that.
Nothing to do with it.
It do now? Why Georgia won the past? Why Georgia won the past 2 years? Why Georgia won the past 2 years if it had nothing to do with it? Why
it's coaching?
Wait. I'm glad you said that. Now, to my other point, why a team with 19 transfers? Why a team with 19 transfers that's undermanned beat you? Why is that?
You talking about who? Alabama?
Yeah,
they beat Alabama.
19 transfers.
Wait. But see, you weren't about Alabama. You weren't about LSU beating Alabama when Alabama weren't about.
That's who you just
Alabama is worried about national championships.
I killed
They're not worried about winning or losing to LSU. Y'all season came down to. Y'all season came down to we beat Alabama as opposed to. But
we won the SEC
okay, so
West.
how you gonna lose to Texas A&M?
We won the SEC West. Hey, keep your eyes on
how you lose to Texas A&M?
I'm gonna tell you why.
How you lose to Texas A&M?
I'm gonna tell you why. Hey, keep your eyes on the prize, wasn't focused, and got whooped. Bottom line. You worried about the SEC championship game when you supposed to took care of business against Texas A&M, and you got out-coached, you got outplayed, you got whooped. That's what happened in SEC.
Okay, so my point is, first of all, NIL has nothing to do with it. All the teams across the league. Yeah. Alabama has not always had 5-star. They don't have all 5-star players. Hughes. They got 4 stars and they got a couple of 3 stars.
Mr. Hughes,
but the point is, listen what I'm saying. The NIL doesn't matter. The NIL does not matter to Alabama. Alabama has great coaching.
Wait a minute.
Georgia has great
NIL
coaching.
has nothing to do with it.
Ohio State has great coaching. You can go buy all the players you want. Okay, you can go buy all the players you want. You ain't going to win if you don't have good coaching.
Wait a minute, man. I disagree with that. Wait a minute. NIL ain't got nothing to do with it. Explain to me why all these transfers going on. Everybody,
because they try. First of all, they don't
want exposure. They
don't want competition. They want to be able to start where they're at. And a lot of the transfers, if they're at a big school, they're going to a smaller school. If you have very small,
Howard didn't go to a small school.
Select few that are going from small schools to big schools.
Walker Howard didn't go to a small school. He went to Ole Miss.
Who?
Walker Howard, 5-star recruit that LSU got. He didn't choose to go to no small school. He didn't go to Alcorn State.
But that's not always the case either. And LSU decided to take it.
I agree.
Because if you're a 5-star, if you that much of a 5-star player, if you that much of a 5-star player, why didn't you go to LSU at first?
He did.
I'm saying, why didn't you get picked by? Why didn't you go on scholarship to LSU as opposed to going to Arkansas?
He did.
He did.
So he was on the
So
route.
he went to LSU, transferred to Arkansas, and came back.
Huh?
He went to
He went to
LSU as a
LSU,
five. He went to LSU
Arkansas,
as a 5-star. He went to LSU as a 5-star recruit.
Nah, last year
he was third. He was third on the depth chart, Mr. Hughes. It was JD. It was Jaden Daniels, and it was Garrett Nussmeier, number 2, and he was number 3. What he was banking on was Nussmeier transferring.
Yeah,
that's what he was banking on. Because JD Nussmeier, they thought he was going to the NFL, but he stayed.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed for his super senior year. He stayed. So basically, he was like, well, I ain't got a chance against Nussmeier. And I do agree with you. A lot of these kids don't want to recruit. Compete.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't want to compete. So he ran. Now, he didn't go to a small school. He went to Ole Miss, the rival. He went to the rival.
Look, y'all.
Hey, and he on the bench now, too. He on the bench.
Yep, because the Old State quarterback.
And see, the thing that I didn't understand with the portal, I was under the assumption when they jump in the portal, they have already talked to a school to say, hey, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were getting in the portal hoping that somebody gonna pick them up.
Oh, it's different. Oh, it's legal.
That's the dumbest thing. You gonna leave a scholarship to go get in the portal that hope
it's
that
legal.
somebody gonna
It's legal to tamper now. It's legal to tamper in college. It's legal to tamper. You can tamper there. You see what Coach Prime D.R. Sanders told him on that press conference? Y'all go ahead and get that transfer portal so I can come holler at you.
Look, Tyrone, let me say this. Look, I got the history pulled up, and you was right. You know. Since the college playoffs started, it's been 9 since the 14-15 season. The SEC won it 6 times out of 9.
Yeah, it's
the first team to win it was Ohio State. The 14-15 season.
And Clemson won too.
And Clemson won too. Then Alabama again. Then Clemson again.
Yeah.
LSU.
I didn't dispute that.
Georgia.
I didn't dispute that.
My question is, how many SEC teams other than Alabama, since the playoffs started, have been up in there?
2.
LSU won.
LSU and Georgia. LSU and Georgia.
Playoffs.
And
Georgia. So where the rest of the LSU, where the rest of the SEC at?
Right.
They beat each other. They cancel each other out. It's a war out here. But Mr. Hughes.
So Alabama is the only one that has been consistent over the years of getting to the playoffs.
But that's changed. That's like it coincides with what I said. In 2020, it's changing. And you see that now with Georgia running it the past 2 years. You're making my point. What I said. But guess what? You got something else you forgot to mention, Mr. Hughes. You forgot to mention what is going to happen in 2024. Can you please let all the viewers know that? Wait. You see, you're missing 4. See, this where I got you now. Guess who is joining the conference in 2024? That's right, Oklahoma and Texas. And guess what else they're implementing in 2024?
And neither one of them are going to show up.
Wait. I got you now. Guess what else is going to happen in 2024, Mr. Hughes? All this pepper. I told you that wealth got to get shared. There will no longer be 4 teams in the playoffs. There will be 12 teams in the playoffs. Mr. Hughes.
Well, that's gonna make the playoffs. Hey, and that's gonna make the playoffs a lot. That's gonna make the playoffs a lot better. And I was talking to somebody about this because I wanted to know: are they going to go according to a team's record, or are they going to go according to a team's conference win? Meaning, if the conference champions win, then are they going to be automatically put into the playoffs? Or is it just going to go by a team's record? So you could have a Bowling Green who's 12 or 13 or whatever it is. They're going to make it to the playoffs. Or are you going to have you got only the guys who win their conference championship? Or are they going to get in?
I hate to say it, and probably my party would agree. I wish I would have been on. We would have been talking about this. And no disrespect to TCU. I mean, no disrespect. After they seen what Georgia did to them, it's going to be hard for a Cinderella D1 school to be in that position again. They lost a lot of money, Mr. Hughes. They lost a lot of money.
So how are they going to pick who goes? That's all I'm saying. I don't know. If you look at conference champions,
this is the part of the argument where this is finna be in your favor. Besides letting TCU get that spot, they would allow Bama to take them over spot if they be in that situation again. And because Bama was at number 5, but they allowed TCU even though they lost because they don't want that to ever happen again. They don't want that to ever happen again. Well, a team got beat by damn near 60 points. They don't want that to happen.
But you got to understand again, TCU deserved to be there.
They won. I agree.
They won what they needed to win. But you again, going back to my point, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and everybody else, because of great coaching, not good coaching, great coaching, and they have the players.
I wish you was my friend on Facebook. I wish, because it went back to my point of what I said yesterday on my page. Bama gonna be crying again because they don't face no opponents outside the conference. When you got 4 non-conference games, you choose to want to play Piccadilly State. Because when you get
whose fault is that? That sounds like that's smart to me. That's smart.
You see, you're playing right in their hands because all they doing is relying on the strength and the power of the SEC. Be bold. If you the top dog of the NCAA, won't you go ahead and face a USC? Face that. You may beat them, but at least it said on your record that non-conference. Come get it, because you can play them. If they open, you can play them. We playing Florida State. Florida State gonna rank top 10.
So who's the smarter team? Why would I want to put my guys in a non-conference situation that we got to struggle? That we got to. I'm not gonna play a hard team in non-conference.
That's just like boxing. You want to be the best? You want to show you the best?
You gotta beat them.
You gotta beat the best
in the end.
But if I beat a lot of non-fighters and I got a 16-0 record, eventually I gotta get the title shot.
Mr. Hughes.
Now I may lose the title, but I got the title shot.
I'm old school, Mr. Hughes. Now back in your day, Nebraska wasn't playing no panty wasters. Y'all were playing real deal football back then. That's right. Come on, man. We gotta break all this. We're gonna play against Piccadilly State. We're gonna play against Tennessee. Stop that.
But when you look at Alabama, it's the same thing once they get in the SEC.
Okay, if they want, that's good. So since y'all basically co-signing that, and I'm not talking about my boys up there, Mr. Hughes, since y'all co-signing that, when you get whooped in one of these SEC games, and you got that one loss, and that hurt you when it's time to pick the playoff team, hey, eat that. Just like what happened to you this year, eat that.
I can tell you this, if Alabama, if they go into 12 teams, ain't no way in hell Alabama ain't gonna be there.
Think about this, Mr. Hughes.
When they start the 12 team, Mike?
Next
2024. Think about this, Mr. Hughes. Think about this. LSU had 2 losses before they faced against Texas A&M. At that time, Alabama had 1. LSU was going to leapfrog them and be in the playoffs if they would have beat Texas A&M.
First of all, now let's be honest. Let's be honest. When LSU and Alabama played, do you really think LSU deserved to be number 10?
Absolutely.
Hell no.
See how they beat?
Absolutely. Hell no. You stop that. You stop that hate. You stop that hate.
Not before they played. And I'm gonna tell you why they put LSU at 10. So that if Bama would have beaten them, they would have been able to say, oh, Alabama beat a top 10 team. So now they can go ahead and get them into the playoff. But that loss did hurt them. And if you look at the Tennessee game, hey, they lost by a field goal. Or the kicker missed the field goal.
You know what helped LSU to get that ranking. You know what helped LSU to get that ranking, right? When they beat a top 10 team in Ole Miss, and they came. No, wait, they beat a top 10 team in Ole Miss, and then they came back the following week after the bye week and beat Bama. That's what helped them. They beat 2 top 10 teams.
But no, they were top 10. They were top 10. They went from 16 or 18 to number 10 before they played Bama.
Oh yeah. They deserve it.
They ain't deserve that.
T, I know you gotta do that. Look, Tyrone,
you know it.
You know it. Look, I just want to ask you one thing.
Now, keep him on here. I ain't done with him yet. Keep him on here.
Hey, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. I want to ask you one thing before you leave, because I know you're gonna be watching. Coach Deion Sanders in your old conference, and I want to ask you: do you think he gonna compete in year 1?
Well, he playing against one of our old team conference teams. He's not there in the Pac-12 now. So
right. Now, I think
this year
Nebraska is on his schedule.
On the schedule, yeah. So I think they're going to win more games than they did last year. I think they only won one last year. I think he's going to do a lot better this year. I think he's going to do even better next year. But I say by year 3, I think they're going to be contending for a national championship.
Oh, wow, that's big praise.
Big praise.
I'll put it this way: I think they'll be in the playoffs.
Shit.
By year 3, year 3, they'll be in the playoffs.
So what you saying? They'll be in the playoffs and beat Bama? Okay.
He didn't say beat Bama, but he said they'll be in the playoffs.
Thank you. I say they'll be in the playoffs.
Oh boy, that was good.
If you made it to the playoffs, you contended for a national championship.
I agree.
Well,
that was fun.
I wish the playoff format was down because guess what? The damn Tulane Green Wave would have had a shot at it too.
Yeah,
that's right. And then went into California and beat USC. Shout out to Green Wave. Shout out Green Wave.
Green Wave was a high rank in LSU at the end.
They deserve it though.
They did a great job. They did a great job. And that's where the portal. And that's where the portal helped them out in their conference.
Right.
They got a lot of guys out of the portal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, they deserve it. It's always a pleasure, man, having you on the show, bro.
I enjoyed you, Mr. Hughes.
Yes, we appreciate
you, guys.
bro.
Thank God, boy.
We appreciate
I want your jersey, Mr. Hughes. I was a fan. I'm a fan.
Look, hey, Mike is coming with us on the cruise, bro. And you know,
I'm a fan.
Okay.
We're still trying to get people to come on this cruise.
And we go debate on that too, Mr.
Well,
Hughes.
I'm already on the cruise. I didn't already send my money in.
Right.
Okay.
He already
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. We gonna debate some more.
And I better sit you down and basically talk football and school you on football 101.
Man, we gonna sit down and have some drinks.
I'll teach you about football 101.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll be humble enough to accept that. I'll be humble enough to accept that.
All right, T. I talk to you soon, man.
I'll see y'all later. Thanks a lot.
All right, Mr. Hughes. That was fun.
Yeah. I can't believe he's a fan though. I can't believe he's a fan. I can't believe he's an Alabama
Bama fan and went to Nebraska.
Man. And
I knew why. That's why before the show he was a little bit passionate. He was a little bit passionate about Bama. Did he go to Nebraska?
Right.
You know, but okay.
Exactly.
And he realized I'm a Tiger fan. He realized
Hey, we're gonna jump back to football right quick. I was gonna do my soul saying player of the past, but I'm gonna wait. You know, we had a good time with T.
Why you do it? I think the fans will be happy to see that.
All right.
Take them back. Yeah, do it, man.
Let me go ahead and do my Saints player of the past right quick.
Yeah, tease it back.
Teasy said I should do it.
Tease it back.
Go ahead and do it, man.
I want that hat. I want that hat, Hakeem. I want it.
Hey, I got
you my mind. Yeah, that hat in the jersey.
Yeah, I want that hat.
You were definitely worth the $47 it cost, my guy.
Yeah, I know that hat cost because I tried to price they sold out. I said, God dog it.
Fanatic.
Right, hey, I was still saying player of the past.
Yes.
Jonathan Vilma,
who is 1 day older than me. Exactly 1 day. He was born April 16th, the same day as my son.
Both of y'all could be playing. All right, let's do Jonathan right quick. Jonathan Polonese Vilma, born April 16th, 1982, is a former American football player and current Fox NFL analyst. He played college football at the University of Miami, the U. Winning the national championship in 2001, he went on to be drafted by the New York Jets in the first round of the 2004 NFL draft. Vilma won Super Bowl 44 with the New Orleans Saints over the Indianapolis Colts. He serves as a color analyst for the NFL on Fox. He previously worked at ESPN as a college football commentator and studio analyst Vilma was selected as a member of the Orange Bowl Committee in 2018. Now, 2004, with the Jets, Vilma was drafted by the Jets with the 12th pick. In 2004, Vilma was named as the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year by the Associated Press. During his rookie campaign, he recorded 107 tackles, tackling machine, 2 sacks, and 3 interceptions with the Jets, one of which was returned for his first NFL touchdown. In 2005, Vilma led the NFL in tackles with 169 tackles, forced 4 fumbles, notched 1 fumble recovery, half a sack, and 1 interception. Vilma also replaced Zach Thomas. Y'all remember Zach at the 2006 Pro Bowl. In 2006, Vilma put together another solid season. He compiled 114 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 interception. In 2007, Vilma was placed on injured reserve. He suffered a season-ending knee injury. But he came back in 2008, and on February 29, 2008, the Jets traded Vilma to the New Orleans Saints for a 4th-round draft pick in the 2008 NFL Draft and a conditional pick in the 2009 NFL Draft. Ultimately, that would be a 3rd-round pick. Jets then head coach Eric Mangini elected to start linebackers Eric Barton and David Harris in his place. In his first season with the Saints, Vilma was a bright spot on a weak defensive unit. Vilma played in all 16 games and recorded 132 tackles with 1 sack. 2009, Super Bowl year. On February 27, 2009, Vilma signed a 5-year, $34 million contract with the Saints. Vilma was elected one of the defensive captains, led the team in tackles, had 3 interceptions, and was chosen for his 2nd Pro Bowl. In Super Bowl 44 on February 7, 2010, Vilma made several important plays, including making a key defensive audible and deflecting a pass on 3rd and 11 in the 4th quarter. The Saints beat the Indianapolis Colts 31-17. Vilma reminds me of a smaller version of Demario Davis, but with the same heart and the same passion. Here's a little video of my man, Jonathan Vilma.
Improvise a little bit at times, but in the end be responsible for a lot of things, and Vilma's the perfect guy for that.
Intelligence runs in Jonathan Vilma's family.
It's my sister. She's going to Harvard.
Since being drafted 12th overall in 2004,
the New York Jets select Jonathan Vilma, linebacker, University of Miami.
Vilma dedicated himself to mastering the subtleties of playing middle linebacker.
Right as you rock back. This is all 3-step, really bullets on both sides.
Vilma, what you got?
Close left! Close left!
In his 5 years in New York,
Roger, roger, roger!
Vilma earned Defensive Rookie of the Year honors and a trip to the Pro Bowl. But following the 2007 season, Vilma was traded to New Orleans for a 4th-round pick.
He left with, a little bit of animosity there, just from the standpoint of, feeling like somebody's getting rid of you, because they feel like you can't help them anymore, or you're not good enough anymore. Puts a chip on your shoulder.
Let's go, John. Let's go, John.
He's a guy who is kind of undersized for the middle linebacker, Mike linebacker position. He plays like he's always got something to prove. So he's had to fight the critics throughout his career. I think I saw a marked difference in our defense immediately just because of his leadership ability.
We're going to get you the ball, baby. Can't be sorry yet. Let's go.
And his intensity, his competitiveness.
You got one more 89?
He's the one who made practices fun.
Check left.
He makes a lot of the calls, and so it becomes a chess match.
Back to right to 35.
Hey, swap.
Hey, kill.
Over, Robbie.
We're both trying to fool each other at times, trying to get in each other's heads a little bit, and whatever it takes. But in the end, we're both trying to win.
We're going to make a play.
In the 2009 NFC Championship, Vilma had a career performance, recording a forced fumble, an interception, and a fumble recovery that helped the Saints reach their first Super Bowl.
We got plenty of room. I want Milva. That's all. Come on, get up here.
When I was in San Diego, he was with the Jets. Certainly a guy who I had a lot of respect for. And it's funny how things work out. The fact that we'd be playing on the same team at some point, but it's a different team than both of us were on at the time. There's not many guys you'll meet that want to win more than him or that work harder than him. That makes it fun.
Jonathan Vilma. All right, let me get my guys back on here. What's up, fellas? That's the man, bro.
The true unsung heroes of this organization, man. Well, I remember when he came in, he literally solidified the defense. He was undersized, you know what I'm saying? And
he wasn't small as Sam Mills, but he was small for
linebacker, by middle standards,
like Mike Singletary.
You know,
like a little Mike Singletary.
You know,
hey, do y'all think being short was an advantage because they couldn't see him? So when they come through that hole, bam, they hit because they couldn't see where he was.
It definitely worked out for Sam.
Yeah, but Jonathan actually really is not short. Jonathan is 6'1". I met him in person before. He just looked. The way he carries his weight on him makes him look like he's small.
Yeah, they say he like undersized. He's like about 230. You know, he wasn't.
But he's a legit like 6 foot, 6'1". You know what I'm saying? Like I met him and Kurt Morrison.
You're right, bro. He's 6'1", but you think about it, the linemen usually about 6'5", 6'6". So
some of them.
Yeah,
the guards are usually short.
Most of your offensive linemen are big.
He wasn't like a Brian Urlacher. He was like 6'4", 255.
Yeah.
Like Junior Seau, 6'2", 250.
Yeah.
You know,
he was
like
6'1",
Ray Lewis, 6'2", 245.
6'1", 230.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know he's about like 230. Yeah, he wasn't no big guy.
What, 5'8"?
He's the same height as me. He was 5'9", but he was about 230 though. He was stocky though. He was about 230.
He was a bowling ball. Yeah.
He was a bowling ball. He was a wrecking ball.
You're right, Vince. He didn't play undersized.
He damn sure.
Yeah. That's just like Sam Mills. Sam Mills made me 5'9", but he was about a good 230. Solid.
Yeah. Arnold Johnson
solid.
245. Yep.
A wrecking ball.
That's my boy, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to meet him. I got to sit down.
Sam Mills got a lot of respect.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I'm looking at Demario Davis. Yeah, he's 6'2", 250.
240. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah, he's big. That's a big Mississippi boy. Big Mississippi boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big boy.
Collins, Mississippi. That's where he's from.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I see. You know who I met in person? And he big, man. Scott Fujita. Man, Scott Fujita is huge.
Fujita is big.
6'5".
I met him in person. Yeah, he big, man. I'm like, golly, dude. Like,
yeah. Vegeta is big.
He was big, man.
And I'm like, damn, you can run. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty.
Yeah, he can run too. Yeah.
But dude, that
Vegeta was big.
Vegeta was 6'6", 250. Long.
Yeah, he was every bit of that. He was every bit of that. Scott Vegeta was big, man. He's big.
Yep. Half Chinese.
Wow, I didn't realize he was that tall, man.
Scott Vegeta was big.
Well, anyway, hey y'all, we gonna talk right quick about our pals, man. Hey, our pals, they falling fast, bro. They need Ingram and Zion.
Injuries.
Wow.
Injuries, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a part of the game, but like me and you were talking earlier though, so they might have to make this move. I mean, I know it's just rumored, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're looking at OG Anunoby, which I think will be a good pickup, but OG is kind of like what Herb is already. Now, if you're talking about bringing Bogdanovich in here, yeah, see, Bogdanovich stretched the dog on float. He can give you about 15, 20 points. The problem is our guys, our role players, you know, like everybody said, they think we're the deepest team in the league as a result of our role players. But when you got both of your two cornerstone players out and you got one guy left, which is CJ, CJ has to create shots for everybody and he has to score for himself. We need somebody who can come in and also be a threat offensively. Where we lose at too, a lot of these last 9-10 games, a lot of teams are getting second chance points. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They're getting a lot of these second chance rebounds. You know what I'm saying? At the end of games, that's killing us. And we playing defense on 2 or 3 straight doggone possessions. You know, we need to get some length.
Right.
That's why when people say, you know, when they throw Valanciunas in the trade discussions, I'm okay. Like, you know, with Jonas being traded, not because I don't, you know, Jonas is a bully down low. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he's still limited in certain capacities when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, being out there on the floor, being able to switch and guard 4s and 5s. You know what I'm saying? Like Larry Nance is only 6'8". People got to understand that he's only 6'8", but you asking him to guard the Rudy Goberts, like last night.
He got ups, but
right.
He's still.
But
he ever spit his daddy. Absolutely.
Right, but he's still on the side. And you saw what Bam did last night.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
Bam was incredible, and Bam ain't really but 6'9", but he looks like he's so much bigger than Larry. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we need a little bit of length and somebody else who can take some of the scoring load off of man.
And you know what it looked like to me? It looked like the Pels just can't finish. They run out of gas because they have teams. They be up 15, 18. And just in the fourth quarter they get destroyed, bro.
That's where you need your stars at to close the show. Exactly. You right. So that's where you need your stars to close the show, and that's where Bi and Zion and all them come in handy at. But that's interesting. I didn't hear anything about they want to trade Valanciunas.
Well, he's one of the players that, you know.
I know Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that players.
Jackson Hayes on the trading block. They think my trade.
Yeah, we not.
I want to keep him.
We not gonna re-sign him. So, and he's still on his rookie deal. So yeah.
Okay. I like to get something for him.
Yeah. Herb Jones, Kyra Lewis, those are some of the guys that they've been throwing, you know, out there trade rumors and stuff like that. But
you need shooters. I've been saying that we need shooters.
We can't currently sustain our position with the way the team is constructed now, even though we have a ton of good young talent. Like Dyson need a couple of years to go ahead and develop.
I just need the Lakers to continue sucking. That's what I need.
Oh, hey, they don't. Hey, bro, don't
continue being trash. That's all I need. I just need them to be trash.
Don't look now, but they coming. They like right there on the cut line. I think they either in 10th place. I think they're in the play-in right now.
They 13th right now. I've been following them. They 13th. Two spots out of last in the West. I need them to suck. I need them to be trash. I'm trying to get a top 5 pick. I need them to be trash. I have been scouting the guy. I don't know if you've been seeing him, Akeem, and so. Yeah, if I don't get Wimbayama, if I don't get him, there's another guy in Kentucky, a true legit center, kind of like Hakeem, Nigerian boy. Did you see him? Did you see him?
Oscar Sheway? Yeah.
Did you see him?
Oscar Sheway.
Did you see him?
34 points and 23 rebounds on.
Did you see it? So,
what's his name?
So, boy got a post game. Oscar
Sheway. Oscar Sheway.
He got a post game and he can play defense.
Yep, he's 6'9" like Ben Wallace. So
yeah, he can run the flow. He can run the flow.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But we got
get him over here. I want him over here. Yeah, get him over here. Then with my other pick, I give me a guard. Give me another guard. I need a shooter. Yeah, I need me some shooting.
All right, y'all. Look, we about to get into our picks. We over an hour and 20. We about to get into our picks. You know, my boy Mike, look, he was winning. He had missed a couple of weeks, but we still gonna see how he does in these last couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
What playoffs?
Last week's winners
playoffs
was
playoffs
coming in first was Nader and Hakeem at 4 right, 2 wrong. I was 3-3 because who did I pick that made me go 3-3? Somebody I picked. Oh, I picked the Bucks. I picked
Tampa
the Bucks.
Bay. I can take a guess. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, and you probably picked against Jacksonville.
Well, this is what happened. Seahawks at 49ers. We all picked the 49ers.
Yeah.
Chargers at Jags. Nobody picked the Jags, and you saw what happened with that.
Right. Up
The
27.
Dolphins at Bills. Bills won. We got all that. Got that right. Giants at Vikings. Nobody picked the Giants. I should have knew. Them damn Vikes been choking all year.
Trash.
Ravens at Bengals. We all picked the Bengals. Cowboys at Bucks. They picked the Cowboys, and you know the rest is history. So overall, I'm at 170 and 105. Nate is at 170 and 105, and Hakeem is at 168, 107. Here we go. All right, the playoffs. Good games this weekend. Saturday, we got the Jags at the Chiefs.
It is over for Sunshine. I'm
taking all the home teams. I'm letting y'all know now. Jags at Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Me too. Damn it.
All right. Let's see if Nate on here. See if my boy Nate is tuned in. Where you at, Nate? I guess I'll get his pick. Mike, who you going with? I just want to see how you going to do. Jags at Chiefs. I know you got my home, man.
You would have.
I'm still feeling.
Probably would have. You was up. Yeah, you was up.
Your ass was up, comfortable too.
Who you got, Mike?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs against the Jags. Come on, bro. My homeboy, man. Come on. I don't go against my homeboy. Stop it.
Shit,
man, my homeboy. My homeboy.
Okay, the Giants
I'm telling you.
At the Eagles. Giants
Eagles.
At the Eagles.
Eagles. Give me the Eagles.
Oh, a lot of people. People.
Give me the Eagles, man. Give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles. CJ back. Give me the Eagles, man.
What you going with, Hakeem?
Yeah, I'm going Eagles as well. I'm gonna take them. Yeah.
Hakeem, you starting to get used to what he do. He try to sway you. You see?
Don't be surprised if the Giants upset him.
Ain't gonna be no damn surprise.
At Bills.
Oh, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going.
Give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals.
Josh.
Give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals.
I want Burrow.
I got the Bengals.
I gotta have them too.
Oh shit.
I like the Bill. I like the Bill, but give me the Bengals in that game.
I got the Bills.
Yes, sir.
I got the Bengals.
All right.
Even though I know it's gonna be cold as I don't know what up there, but
now let's see if your ass pick the Cowboys this week. Cowboys at Niners.
Niners.
I'm going to take the upset.
It's over. Man, it's over.
Who you going with, Hakeem?
It was fun. It was nice while it lasted. Niners, man.
I'm going. I gotta go Dallas, man.
Man, it's over. Man, it's over. Niners, bro. It's over. Niners.
Want to? Not because I want.
All them doggone throws Tom Brady missed. I can promise you they won't miss them. Tom Brady was throwing ducks out there.
Yep.
Wasn't ain't gonna throw no doggone duck. It's over. It's over. It was fun while it lasted, Cowboys. It was fun.
Yeah, Cowboys. That's what I wanted. I wanted them to get rid of Brady and then lose this week against the Niners.
So I can drag you. It's out of here. It's out of here. Yep.
So I guess I'll get near the picks in a few. But hey y'all, hey man, we glad to have you back, brother.
Hell yeah.
You know we love you, bro. We're glad to have you back.
For the Super Bowl, you may want to
like Sean Payton. See how you came back? Sean Payton might come back.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. I love the guy, but Sean
y'all let that go.
Hey y'all, for all y'all Saints fans out there, keep the faith, man. You never know.
Shit, how Byron Leftwich, damn it. Let him have his dog on.
I don't want no Leftwich.
I do.
Well, it was Pooh as a quarterback. Pooh.
Hey, that's a quarterback.
I'm looking at their offense. I know y'all say it was Tom Brady, but them plays didn't look too hot. Look, that play calling wasn't too hot.
When you got a quarterback that's 50 years old, I mean, you got to play with the dog on.
Either go.
That don't mean that the goal can be all the time. Shoot.
Oh man. Well, hey y'all, we gonna be back every week. We back full. We back in full. We got all hands on deck again. We'll be back every Wednesday or Thursday. It's probably gonna be Thursday now that football season is coming to an end. So we won't be right before the playoff games and the Super Bowl. So And we're gonna be talking all about the off season. A lot of shit gonna happen. We got the draft coming up after the cruise, in April. Man, that shit come quick now. I remember when football, it looked like wasn't no football on TV. Now it's football year round. You watch football year round, man. I remember I'd be like, boy, I'd be glad when football come back. Then they start in August, after the draft, start talking about it a little bit, But we'll see. Hey, y'all. Thanks. Remember, it's nothing personal, just straight biz. See you next time on
Tell It Like It Is. And be safe and hater free like me.
Yeah. Where you at, mate?
Yay.
Carry the babies.
All right, well, we about to roll out.
All righty.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.
See y'all next week.
See y'all next week. We're going to go out with a little chopper chop.
Yes,
chop style, chop style.
Let me hear y'all say, oh.
We
oh, yeah.
Oh. Wins coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Go holler. If you a ride or die, man, holler. We going to the Super Bowl.